Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to take much of our time in starting. We'll be starting right away. I guess other people will be meeting us as we go on. Yeah. You're welcome to the May edition of our monthly seminar. My name remains Debo Adejano, and you are the guest of Realty Point Limited, the mass housing development company. Today, as we had earlier said in some of the messages you got and at our last session, we want to talk about penny real estate investment and the success tips. We actually would be identifying on the path of our discussion some pitfalls and then some things you should watch out for, and how you can mitigate against the risk that is inherent in this type of investment, and then how you can succeed doing this type of investment. The number one thing someone would ask is, what is penny real estate? I mean, you must have heard of penny stocks and all of that, so you wonder, what is penny real estate? Well, is a word I coined out of the experience of penny stock. Penny stock is basically stocks that sells for, almost next to nothing, if you want to say, maybe cobbles or a unit of a naira and all of that. That's what you call penny stock. And so real estate as well, penny real estate, really, by my definition, is a type of real estate investment that exists within the lower border of the pyramid. Within the lower border of the pyramid. And the characteristics of such an investment opportunity is that the price is usually at least low. At least it's friendly to the ears. There are some real estate figures that are not friendly to most hearing. When they mention 1 billion, there's not everybody that will hear 1 billion and their heart will still remain inside them. Some, their heart will jump out of their mouth, But when you hear things like 500,000, any figure probably under a million, you still think it is. But however, that is not what makes the totality of my definition of penny real estate. The other part of it is that it is low in value, in pricing, in the entry figure, and is as well, it as well gives you an opportunity to stagger your payments for acquisition. So even though it's about less than $1 million, you can still pay over a considerable length of time, such that what you are now actually bringing out of your pocket is something you can conveniently do on a monthly basis. So it reduces the pain of investment, as it were. Major investments, or most investments, you actually have to task yourself to do them. You understand? You actually have to task yourself to do them, in the sense that they usually would take out of you. You have to close your eyes to do major investments. But in this case, it has been structured such that you can pace it. So some will say you can pay in 6 months, in 10 months, 12 months, 24 months. So that is my definition of penny real estate. And they have become very, very available. Before the 2000, before the turn of the century, they were not as available as they are now. They started becoming very much available. At least one of the first few companies that I know of that started this penny real estate that I'm aware of and we participated in is a company called Wisdom Property Limited. At the time we were marketers to them, and they had along along Lagos Ibadan Express, just before where Punch is now. And you'll be surprised to know how much we first sold property in that estate. The first set of plots in that estate went for 180,000 naira. The same estate we are talking about now, right from the express, you can actually see the gatehouse. Right from the express. It's like behind Punch. Right from the express, you can see the gatehouse. And any property along that corridor now, meaningfully, is not less than maybe 2.5 and above million per plot. But as at the time, and the funniest thing, the 180,000, guess what? There is a payment plan that allowed someone to pay for 3 years. And I actually have people who bought and paid over 3 years. 5,000 naira a month. Now, if you have such an investment, do you think about it anymore? It has become so affordable. It's 180 first. Now, you don't even have to bring out the 180 at once. You can spread it in 3 years. You understand? So, that creates a whole lot of opportunity. So, that's my definition of penny real estate. However, like I said, it's a bit new. In a way, at least. I don't think most of what we have in the market or the companies that offer this, I don't think that product as a product class is up to 10 years old. Like I said, the first company I'm aware of, that was 2005. That I got wind of them October 2005. So if we say maybe some other ones probably had existed before then that we're not aware of. Let's say give it 10 years in existence so far. Prominently in existence. Okay? So that means that we really need to study it. Okay, we really need to study. Now, what I would suggest is that when you have questions, there is a time for questions. So just note your questions. Please don't forget them. Note them, and then we can take the questions. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. There are 6 fundamentals of a good penny real estate investment that I want us to talk about. 6 fundamentals of a good penny real estate investment. That is to say that there are penny real estate investments. There are bad ones and there are good ones. But if you look at these 6 things, every time you are given an opportunity to invest in a penny real estate investment, if you look at this, you will help yourself and it will help your investment. Number 1, imagine. You need to understand that it's still imagine. Like I said, give me 10 years. An investment class that is 10 years old, I can tell you it is still imagine. It is still imagine. So it's very young. Very, very young. And that has its advantages as well as disadvantages. So you must note that. It is micro, small in nature. When I mean micro, I'm trying to say that largely it is very, very affordable. And it exists, like I said, within this bottom of the pyramid. Third, it could be very speculative. Because it's very affordable, it means it's open to almost a larger percentage of people. And that is to say that like any investment nature, people want to invest and then make profit thereafter. So it means that it can subject land mass to a lot of speculation. People can buy, hold, and then sell later. You understand? So you need to be aware of these things. I will tell you as we go on why your knowledge and awareness of some of these things are very important to help you in your investment decisions. 4, for a good penny real estate, there must be the presence of a value driver. There is always the presence of a value driver in any investment. It's just that some of the time, the value driver is not competent to play that role as much as you would have desired. What do I mean? For a penny real estate investment, the people that have been driving value in that market before the organized sector in a way try to come into it are the land merchants, the moneyless. They are the ones that have been driving value there. They are the ones that have been making places develop. So they will say, come and buy now. Okay, we want people to develop this place, or we want people to develop this place. So So they will sell some places to people that they want to develop it, or they will sell a place till it is fully developed. Sometimes they charge you for job card and all of that. But do they play their roles? And what should be the role of a value driver in an investment like this? You will know as we go along. So there should be the presence of a value driver. It must be a very good one that would manage the place, protect the place, and secure the place. There must be conventional documentation on what you are buying. When we say conventional documentation in a country like Nigeria, we know that when you buy land from the customary owners, you can move on to a form of documentation called certificate of occupancy. You understand? So that is the conventional side. It is when you are now buying land from the company that is having certificate of occupancy that you talk about deed of assignment with a governor's consent for perfection of it. Okay? So there must be conventional documentation. You must be able to purchase or secure conventional documentation. Now, the sixth point, it must be tradable, very, very tradable. The fluidity of the trade would help the investment. The seamless nature of the transactional activities would help the investment that you are making. So it must be very tradable. It must be transferable, easily transferable. These are very key 6 points that I want us to note. So if you happen to want to invest in a penny real estate, what are the things you should look out for? I made a list of 4 things and I called it checklist for a secured and investment worthy penny real estate. Checklist for a secured and investment worthy penny real estate. Number 1, and probably the most important, there must be the presence, visible presence of a promoter. And this is what makes the organized sector offering a bit more valuable and better off than the Omonile traditional offering. This is what makes the government offering more valuable and better off than the traditional Omonile offering. The presence of a committed promoter. The Omonile is a promoter, but is an unorganized promoter. He's informed in some way, but you can say that he's a biased, sometimes selfish promoter. Most of the time, it is not, when you are engaged with Omonile, most of the time it is a win-lose situation. But when you are engaged with some of these other promoter, government or a private body, there is some, at least some element of win-win situation in the whole scheme. You understand? So there must be a promoter. Now, the promoter, if you are buying into a penny real estate investment, must be such that you can buy them. You must be able to buy the promoter. That is to say that you must be able to bank on the words and the promises of the promoter. That is to say that you must have investigated that promoter and be comfortable with them, that they have the expertise, they have the willingness, and they have the capability to deliver on their promises. Those 3 things must be in place. The expertise, the will, and the capability. If any of the 3 is missing, there is problem. They must be ready and willing about their business. They must be capable. Okay? And they must have the experience. Because if you are willing and you don't have the experience, if you have the experience but you don't have the other wherewithal to deliver, you understand? So they must be capable, they must be willing, they must be experienced. You must be able to trust them. Integrity must be in place. Because in real estate business, particularly in a country like